live. Hello, everybody. Hello, Cara. How are you today?
Oh, good, Sarah. How are you?
I'm all right. Do you have a good spring equinox over there in Dallas?
It's beautiful. Yes, it is. The sun is shining. The weather is, finally warm, but I'm sure it's still pretty. Is it still pretty chilly where you are?
Well, actually, it wasn't. It went up into double figures.
Oh, wow.
Equinox was an absolutely stunning day. And now it's still mild, but it's drizzle.
Hmm.
So typical English weather.
Uh, Sarah, maybe in a minute, like after we get settled and started, is there any way we can, like, maybe you can explain a little bit more about the equinox?
There is. Um, I can't see the chat again, I don't think. Can you see?
I don't think anything's on the chat yet. So if anyone's live, could you please just put something in the chat so we can see?
Yes, hello. We have 6 people here. 2 of them are probably us, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so the equinox, right. So we've got to work in opposites for the hemispheres. In the northern hemisphere, it is the spring vernal equinox. So we are exactly the same time of light, and
Okay.
we're now heading into the light part of the year in the north. In the southern part of the year, they will be at a festival called the Mabon, Mabon, the autumnal equinox, and of course they're now tipping upwards into their dark part of the year. Sorry, it's probably downwards into their dark part of the year. So at both of these equinoxes, we can use this for balance.
Okay.
Okay, you get 3 weeks up to the equinox, considered equinox energies, and you also get 3 weeks after the equinox when the
Okay.
energies start waning. But with both of those, you can use this time to get into balance for the next half of the year.
Okay.
So spring equinox, or Ostara, they call that in Wicca.
Okay.
Ostara, and I believe she is a Germanic goddess.
Oh, wow.
In the dark part of the year, the Mabon it's kind of a bit of a loose phrase. The Mabon is considered a son, like a prodigal son going away, something like that. So I would say let's talk about Greek mythology, because most people understand that. In the dark part of the year, let's say Persephone got abducted by Hades to go underground, and Demeter decided that no crops would grow on Earth until she'd found her daughter. So in the winter, we do not grow many crops at all. And around the winter solstice, hardly anything grows at all. And then at this time of the year in the northern hemisphere, Demeter and Hecate went down and found Persephone, brings her back up to the earth, and she stays on top of the earth with her mother so that all the crops can grow again.
Okay.
So it's literally just opposites. In the south, in the autumn equinox, the Druids call it bright light on water because the reflections are really unusual on water at this time of year.
Oh.
But I don't think that's the same as in the spring equinox. We tend to think of hares boxing, which is the original Easter bunny, and we can still see them because the grass is short.
Oh, wow.
So at the moment, the males will be vying for the attention of the females, and they literally box like kangaroos.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
we see them chasing each other. But as soon as we get to sort of Beltane May Day, suppose November the 1st, that grass is so long we can only see the tips of their ears above it.
How cute.
But there's lots of other traditions, isn't there, from many other cultures. So, but that is my understanding of the equinoxes.
Thank you for explaining that. And I love mythology. I love Greek mythology in particular. And I never associated Persephone and Hades with the turning of the seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I think, really, in all honesty, he would have abducted her about now, maybe even at Halloween, which will, in the southern hemisphere, actually be on May the 1st, won't it? April the 29th, or the last day of April, will actually be Halloween. But because of, what do they call it? Merchandising, everybody
Mhm.
celebrates it on the same time, I think.
How funny. How funny. That's amazing. I love that.
Did we get any comments yet?
Yes, I can see them, and I'm not, maybe it's because they, sometimes the host, they do things to where like the host doesn't get distracted or something like that.
Ah, okay. All
But yeah.
right. Well, we thought we'd love to start with your lovely little meditation,
Okay. Well, thank you so
just to
much,
get us
y'all.
all in tune.
Yes. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that you love it, and it always helps me. So, let's just get settled. Just get comfortable. Maybe a few moments to do that, whether you're sitting or you're lying or you're at work. It's okay. Just get comfortable. You can be sitting. I'm going to use this singing bowl. It's 432. So, all you beautiful souls, no matter where you are, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and just exhale softly. We're going to let ourselves arrive in this moment fully into this space, no matter what you are doing, no matter where you are at. We're going to be grounding this space in love, our presence, and our divine connection with ourselves and each other. And as you hear the sound,
Dominic, can't hear it.
as you hear the sound, imagine it washing over you like a wave of peace, vibrating and dissolving any stress, any tension, bringing you into full alignment with love itself. Now, if you'd like, place one hand over your heart and one on your belly. Feel it rise and fall as you breathe in deeply through your nose. Hold for just a few seconds. Feel that stillness and exhale out your mouth with a gentle sigh. Let's do this together again, okay? So we're going to breathe in deeply, expanding our heart space, holding for just a few seconds, and releasing and letting go of anything that no longer serves you. I feel like we need to do this again, so we're going to do it again. So breathe in deeply. Really feel where you are. Anything that's around you, that's okay. Just let it go. Breathe out. Now breathe normally. With every breath, you're opening up your heart to divine love. Now we're going to affirm that together, okay? So if you'd like, keep your eyes open or they can be closed, it's fine. And I want you to repeat after me these affirmations, okay? I am open to love.
I am open to love.
I am safe to receive love.
I am safe to receive love.
I am love, and love is me.
I am love, and love is me.
We're going to let those words sink in. Every cell of your body. Feel that love flowing within you, around you, through you, from within you. Now, we're going to take one final deep breath in. Hold this feeling of love and expansion as long as you'd like. And as you exhale, imagine sending love out to the world. Knowing what you give, you receive. We're going to let you do that just a few times. Breathing in that love, that grounding, that assurance, that connection with the divine. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back and open your eyes and be refreshed, feel aligned, and know you are deeply loved and open to receiving any messages, connection, and community here with us.
Thank you, Cara. That was lovely.
You're so welcome.
Lovely as always. I'm just going to use a little bit of aura spray here. This is a gatekeeper, and it smells of jasmine, patchouli, and myrtle oil made by my friend. So, oh, there's no crystals in this one. I thought it was going to shake. Sorry. You'll have to listen to the juice. Spray some nice grounding over us all. So just breathe that in and know that this portal is now open for springtime or autumn and messages to come through. So because I can't see anything, Cara is going to have to be moderator again. I'm going to go into the YouTube studio and put you in as a permanent one, I think.
Okay.
So if you want a card read, you need to put north or south, depending on what hemisphere you're in, because I will pull a card from your hemisphere, and then Cara will use her. Which deck have you got, Cara?
Ooh, I have the Wild Mystic. It's one of my favorite.
I think it's an animal deck, is it? Is it an animal
Yes.
deck?
Symbols, animals, and astrology.
So you're going to get a nice little hint for the season and a power animal or a visiting power animal.
Okay, so our first one, actually, you know what, Sarah, would you mind? Could we maybe do a collective first?
We certainly can. I'm just going to shuffle them all here, and I'll have to pull one from each hemisphere, won't I? So I know sometimes I forget my people in the South, but I try to remember you all. So, okay, so I'm just going to get everybody to blow on the decks. If we hold our decks up at the screen, everybody can blow on them for the collective. So, I'm going to pick a Northern Hemisphere card for the spring vernal equinox. And I'm going to pull a Southern Hemisphere card for the Mabon autumnal equinox. Okay, so for the Northern Hemisphere, you have hot cross buns.
Ooh.
This is not a warning, but a caution for what lingers.
Ooh.
So hot cross buns, the symbol of the cross, it's one of balance, isn't it? It's not so much on a Christian crucifix because the crossbar is nearer to the top, sort of at the shoulders, but on a hot cross bun, it's absolutely equal, isn't it? Equal day, equal night. We are at that quarter turn of the year. So perhaps, how could we do this? We have daffodils on here. We also have snowdrops. We have tea. And it looks like we could also have buds. So I want you to think in the Northern Hemisphere, what's stale? What is holding you back? What is holding you down? What weight are you carrying on your back? Perhaps leave those winter blues, physically take them off your shoulders and dump it on the ground. And next time you eat a hot cross bun, maybe you should think, what's not serving me anymore? What do I need to cut out to bring into balance? There's a nice little thing we can do with our hot cross buns rather than just eat them.
Mm.
And for the Southern Hemisphere, the card is called the apple of my eye. Not all that is alluring may be what it seems. See beyond the illusion.
Ooh.
So on that card, you have the apples with an eye in. I'm just going to turn this round. You have herbs drying. You also have a little cauldron brewing and candles and crystals and a sword. And we have various leaves. There's an oak leaf, another oak leaf there. So at the autumnal equinox, the priestesses in Avalon used to do a 3-day apple cleanse.
Oh, yes.
So the apples will be ripening. I hope they grow in Australia and South America, in Cape Town. But do it with a pomegranate. If you can't find any apples, use a pomegranate because that is also a fruit of the season. But you might want to start watching the intake of food, again, preparing yourself to be in the best health for the winter, for the cold time of the year. So you might want to peel your apple and get rid of, your outer core or your outer layer if that's not serving you anymore. Another thing you can do is take an apple. This is my representation of an apple, and cut it across the equator, so horizontally, opening it up, and it reveals a star on the inside, a
Oh,
Venus
wow.
star, a pentagram. So you can have some fun doing that. And if you wanted to do a love spell with that, you would eat half of your apple and you would go and cast away the other half of an apple onto water that is flowing out. So that's a couple of things you can do with apples in the Southern Hemisphere.
Well, we're all getting apples today. That's what we know.
So what have you got, Cara? Are you
Okay,
picking
so
one or two cards?
it's so funny. Two of them actually fell out. One was the first, and it's pretty aligned with the North Hemisphere. It's rebirth. because we're coming into spring, right? That's amazing. It's the snake card.
Oh,
And
and
there's
we're in Year of the Snake, aren't we?
we are. Oh, how fun! You're so sad. And then we have a symbol. It's the when there's stars here as well. It's almost like we're waking up. There's a moon, but it looks like it's actually filling. I'm not exactly sure. That's what my first
It is.
instinct
It's
was.
a C, so it's growing. Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. So that's what came. And it's also like snakes shed, like they grow, they shed, they change. It's now time we're shedding off that old or just it's the winter, right? We're coming into spring. So it's much more of a bloom. It's a rebirth. We are um everything that was seeded is now a seedling growing, looking for change and things. And so I love this card for us. And then the second one is actually I love this card. It's the collaborate card. It's the ant card.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and this symbol, if I am not mistaken, is the symbol of 10. But I love so ants have phenomenal collaboration skills. I mean, people have studied them, like architects have studied them for years to
Yeah.
build things, to collaborate, to like even homes and cities and things like that. So there's this gear that's here. It's always working. It's always working together, right? But it almost looks like it's an ancient um design. Like, you know how the aqueducts and then the gears that people used to use in the ancient and the Romans and the even
Yep.
Egyptian days, it looks very much like this. So I was raised on a ranch, a very small ranch in Kansas, and when we went into, of course, the southern hemisphere is going into more of a fall,
Hmm.
winter kind of storage. I feel we had to collaborate to get through the winter because it was very remote. And if we didn't, it would we wouldn't make it. So basically, I think the collaborate card's a really beautiful card for the southern hemisphere because we're going into that season where you may be called to collaborate both with your family, like your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, so like your partner in life, or your community. So this could be a
And your
really
neighbours, your elderly neighbours, especially.
ooh, I love that. I love that we called that out. That's a really good intuitive um, point. So those are the two cards I got.
So lovely. Can I just add a little bit? Snakes are very healing. They were kept in the
Ooh.
temples, in the Asclepian temples in Greece. They were left running around, symbol of Asclepius. And ants. I was watching ants this summer in Greece. They were huge. They're called the myrmidons. And that is the name of the fighters who accompanied Achilles.
Oh
They all
wow.
work as a unit together, and they were huge. And ants are related to bees.
Oh,
They're a similar family. They work as a collective, don't they? They all know their individual jobs. They will sacrifice their own life for the good of the colony. Um, Lovely, two lovely cards. And
yeah,
yeah, weirdly apt for our hemispheres.
yeah. Love it.
So who's first up
Ooh,
for,
okay. So the very first person we had was Dan, and
and
he's
where is
northern.
in the
He's
northern
northern.
hemisphere? Okay, Sam. Take a breath in, Sam. Just
Oh, sorry, Dan.
ground.
I'm sorry, there's Dan. Dan, Dan.
Oh, Dan. Sorry,
My
Dan.
fault.
I do apologise. No, it's my hearing, isn't it? I'll have to put the headphones in. Dan, blow on the deck for me, please. Okay. What does Dan need to know? Garden party, Dan. You're going to have to hold a garden party. Okay, it says embrace the coming of things worth celebrating. Look at that beautiful house with all of those vines growing up it. Look at all of the different windows, the different aspects of the world that you could look out on, the different aspects of your life. If you have a birthday coming up, Dan, make sure you celebrate it in some way. Don't do what I do and just stay in and get a takeaway. It's telling you to celebrate. So even if you haven't got a birthday coming, I would say celebrate the coming of the light, celebrate the summer, celebrate the smallest things in life and show gratitude for them as well. As we breathe in that love that Cara was talking about, so we breathe out gratitude as well. So be thankful for those little things. As you walk along the sidewalk and you see a little weed peeping out of the crack, thank it for, you know, giving us the joy of having seen it. Thank the trees on your daily walk for holding space for you. Living a life in gratitude and love. So I'm just going to read that for you again. Embrace the coming of things worth celebrating. So
I
pull
love
your
that.
friends together. The weather's getting nice. Let's have an outdoors barbecue and garden party for you, Dan.
Mm. I have the instinct card for you, Dan. It's the fox. And there is a symbol on there. I think it's the three. It's the
Well, at
three.
the top,
Yes,
the triple goddess
the
symbol.
triple goddess. That's what I was looking at. The triple goddess symbol. And I think that's Earth. The Earth? That's Earth.
No, it's moon.
So the triangle. Sorry, I was
Oh, the
looking.
triangle. Sorry, I
It's,
thought you were talking about the moons. Yeah,
it's
I
okay.
don't
It's
know.
me. Yeah, that's. I believe it's the Earth. So the Earth is, or it's water, but I think it's the Earth. So this, if hold on, if that's, I want to make sure that's not the, it's not the wolf card, but I just want to make sure. Give me just a second.
Is it a
It
tiger?
is the wolf. It's
Oh,
the
it's a
wolf.
wolf, is it?
It
Look like a
is a
tiger.
wolf.
Okay.
Yes, no, for sure. It's the wolf card. So, um, it's about trusting your own animal instinct, right? Like we've got two wolves inside of us. We want to feed the one that is the positive overcoming and not the one that the more the darker side. Although shadow work is not what this is talking about. It's talking about the destructive kind, kind of thing. And so it's about being grounded in the natural world, your own senses, who you are, like your um wolves are exceptionally good at like trailblazing and pathfinding. And so if you are on a journey, this is an inspiration um, to trust your own instincts. I mean, they're instinctual beings, right? And they're also pack animals, phenomenal at hunting and surviving. And they're noble creatures. Like I think that the Native Americans here in America, they I don't want to say idolized, but they symbolized this as one that can overcome overcoming leadership, and like sacred journeys. So that's what I've got with that.
Lovely.
I love that card a lot, actually. Yeah, I love that.
Fantastic. There you go, Dan. Hope you found some information that can resonate with you there.
The
Who's
next
next?
The next one we have is Wendy. Wendy, one, thank you so much for reminding people to like the video. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
Yes, very encouraging. And she is from the North Hemisphere.
Okay. So we knock our cards quite often between people. That's another way to cleanse them. Wendy, breathe on the deck, please. Gosh, I think I actually heard her breathing then. How bizarre.
Love that.
Okay, what does Wendy need to know right now? And the decks I'm using, by the way, are called Seasons of a Witch. I'm sorry, I didn't know if I said that. Okay, Wendy, Irish Moss Wendy. May you feel nourished in all ways as the turning of luck is coming your way. And we have this beautiful woman with clutching her charms. Perhaps she's harvesting Irish moss. So what is it that you need to harvest at the moment? Moss covers things up, doesn't it? As a gardener, I know this very well. It also takes over a lawn. So you might need to scarify your lawn, and what that means is you would be raking out the moss so that the grass can spread its roots and send lots of little shoots up. So again, another cleansing. What is the moss hiding in your life? What have you swept under that carpet, and what do you need to address, Wendy? If you've been procrastinating over something, if you haven't done your accounts like I haven't, they're due in on the 5th, get moving. I'm going to, don't put off what you can do today, because we don't know if there's a tomorrow, do we? So make sure that you are uncovering things that you're hiding over. We've got lots of little plants here. We've also got a lot of crows, teachers, they recognize us. If you go and feed the crows a few days in a row, they do learn to recognize your face. And they are not the harbinger of bad news, I don't think. If you've got a murder of crows in your garden, you're lucky because they like you. So maybe go and sit somewhere, have a little think about what you need to uncover to let breathe and let grow. Perhaps it's just your own spirit. Maybe if you are bogged down with responsibility, do that. Take your knapsack off, dump it at the front door, shut the front door in your mind and walk in, and without those heavy coverings on your shoulder. I'm going to leave that there for Cara to carry on.
Well, it definitely goes along with the intention card that you got. It's the jellyfish card, and it's a
Ooh.
beautiful card. I mean, not to mention how long these have been here, the wisdom that these have to hold, seeing, their world change so much. And I just think that there's an intelligence that comes with jellyfish and the ancient wisdom that comes with, creatures of just mystery and magic. But it's about intuition is what this is, and setting intentions. And so the jellyfish is a very fluid um, creature. It goes along with the currents of where it's at, right? It moves with the water. And so
Yeah.
wherever you are, like whatever it is that you are, whatever you're in, whatever situation you're in, whatever world you find yourself in, it's about going with that and going with the flow and knowing that when you set your intentions, that good or more of a, maybe a challenging situation, it's always working out for you, right? If we have that it's working for us, not against us, right? We're going with the flow. We're not going against the current, because jellyfish just doesn't do that, right? And so with this intention that we're setting, we want to go with the flow of what the situation you're in, and just know that it's always working for you and not against you. Like trusting the path that you're on. That's basically, and along that way, we're not just there's so I used to think that going with the flow was just like letting whatever happens, wherever it takes me. It's the river, you're in the river, or you're in the flow of the current. I could actually set intentions while I'm in the current and in the flow that guide me to my highest and my best, and always grounded in that. Because if you like, I was aloof for a while. I was like, well, why aren't things working? Because my intentions were just to be in the flow. My intention wasn't to use the flow to better myself or to get what I wanted or to manifest. So basically, that's what is coming up with this beautiful, beautiful card.
Yes, you can always tweak things a little bit, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely, beautiful card. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Wendy, thank you so much. Osina is from the north, so she's the
Who?
northern
Can you
hemisphere.
repeat the name again, please?
Sina, Cina.
Sina, right. From the north, okay. I suppose everyone in the south, Australia mainly, they're all into bed now.
Oh yeah,
The Argentinians, that'll still be up. Okay. Did you say Orsina?
yes, Sina, Scina.
Sina, breathe on the deck, please. Okay, what does Sina need to know right now? Okay, you have the Ostara goddess here.
I love
And
her.
I pulled this card this week actually and put it on the community page. It says, in the darkest of hours, when all seems to be lost, comes the magic of light. And we have this beautiful goddess here with flowers, the hair magically jumping over her. But you also look at that little clutch of eggs that she has here.
Mm.
What are you nursing? What are you preparing? It might be the time to start thinking about bringing your ideas and your fertility out into the world at this fertile time. Again, you might have been sitting on things, waiting for the right moon phase. We have a full moon here. We have a, oh, is it a C or a D? We have a new moon growing, it's waxing there. I really think actually that any time would be good to bringing these out. But also we have little cluties, a wishing tree. She's hung her wishes on a tree. Maybe that is something you can do to get all of these projects off the ground and these ideas. But Ostara, as I said, Germanic goddess, I believe, or a Dutch goddess. So she would have come over with the Saxon tribes over to the Europe, over to England, and then of course a lot of us went over to America and took those ideas with us. So look at all those beautiful flowers in the hair, beautiful flowers sprouting out of our shoulders, but that little clutch of eggs, those little, what do you call them? Containers full of promise, aren't they? The promise of new life, the promise of ideas. And that is what you guard them closely, but also be generous with them as well. Okay, I'll leave that there.
The provide card, the sacred cow card with Taurus as well. Phenomenal card. I love this card. It's production and provision. Um, so they were, I believe in Egypt, they were sacred, right?
Yeah, and India. I
And
think
India, yeah.
cows are everywhere because they can fed
Hmm.
and reproduced. Your
Yeah,
wealth
so
is cows, isn't it?
fertility, harvest, plenty. It says fruition, prosperity, and reaping benefits. But yeah, so the cow card is a sacred card. It's under obviously the Taurus, and if that speaks to you, and if you are in a season of rejoicing in provision that you're being given, or you're waiting for provision to be given, this is basically what it's saying. They're also working animals as well. They use that to plow fields and to provide for you as well. So not just like, there's not, obviously abundance is yours no matter where it is. We're just like waiting for it to come to you, but there's also a blessing of work in your craft, in whatever you're doing. This is a blessing of provision in your job, um, and provision in that way. So I love this card for you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have Banel, Banele, and it is the northern hemisphere.
Okay. Okay, blow on these cards. Did you say Finel or Vinel?
B with a B.
Binel.
B is a boy.
Binel.
Hmm.
Blow on the cards, please. Okay. What does Binel need to know now? A flower wand.
Oh.
What was once will no longer allow for what must come to be. It is a time to let go. I'm going to read that again with the right pausing. What was once will no longer allow for what must come to be. It is time to let it go. Here we go again. It's all about cleansing, isn't it? It's always about cleansing. I get fed up of cleansing, much like you guys. So, if you were to create a flower wand, how would that work? Okay, well, you can just do the normal cutting a branch off a tree, asking the tree if that is okay. I actually take dead pieces of wood, but a lot of witches and druids will take a live piece of wood. So you would take your wand. A good tree to use would be a hazel or a hawthorn, one of these trees that are starting to grow now. A birch would be good, but if you want action, then you would use probably a hazel or a hawthorn. But you could make a wand out of anything, couldn't you? Anything with a long stem, perhaps. So as you're walking around, I'd suggest if any flowers catch your eye, take a photograph on your phone. If you have an iPhone, you can scroll up and it will tell you what flower it is. And then you can go home and type in daffodil spiritual properties, and then it will tell you what that flower that you saw today on your walk. I doubt you'd be able to make a wand out of something like a snowdrop. But you can still, it's figurative, isn't it? So you could sit there and look at those snowdrops and just absorb that magic into you, those new ideas. Perhaps the daffodil, they're like trumpets, aren't they? Little trumpets, shout out about yourself. Nobody is going to say, this person is brilliant. You've got to shout out a little bit about you. So make sure you tell everyone what your good traits are, especially if you're doing job interviews. You've got to sing your own song and use those flowers to help you. So perhaps every day you go out, see if you can locate a new flower. It's good for your learning, and you can find out the spiritual properties for it and where that fits in with your life. And again, we have all of these hairs. The hair, why are hairs all over these cards? It is because it is thought that witches shapeshifted into hares.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and that is why the hares are so persecuted, because they thought the witches went into the hares, so they killed the hares.
Oh,
Okay, but it's at this time of year that we see them. We can't see them, as I said, in the summer because the grass is too long and they're all starting to mate at the moment. A good time to connect with the hares, it will be on the next full moon, because they do all sit there. We call them moon gazy hares, and they get hypnotized by the moon and they
oh my
sit there looking
gosh.
at it all together. So yeah,
I had
so
no idea.
learn your flowers, and whatever you like, have a look at the spiritual properties and see how you can configure it into your own life.
Love that. So this card is the seahorse card. It's the family It's the family card. So we also have
Ooh,
a lot of symbolism. So it's the horn god, the triple goddess, and then it's the tricep.
Tripicaf, Tricara, Tripicaf, it's called a few different things, that.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what that would be, but I would love to learn the symbolism, and I
It's a
promise
druid
next time.
symbol, actually. We use that symbol in druidry.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Well, it's a family card. So basically either blood or a chosen family, right? And it's also um being open to different kind of family structures. So, I mean, as everyone probably knows, hopefully they know, because I was a Discovery Channel nerd and I love learning about animals. That's why I love these cards. It's the fathers that carry the children. So there's always a different structure, a different outlook. Be open to being supported by your family in different ways, maybe ways that you didn't expect, right? Whether it's your, like I said, blood family or your chosen family. So if you can see those cards, I don't know if that speaks to you, but it's also healing yourself, loving yourself, keeping yourself from harm, both yourself and others. It's unconditional love, affection, care, and safety. So you get your care and love and safety from yourself, but also, again, lean onto your family, lean onto people around you. This is a card where you can pull from probably maybe unexpected people. So if you're looking for advice or whatnot, just ask. If you're looking for, if you need days where you're just like, listen, I just need a friend to be with me or to listen. Um, and it may not be the people that you thought would be the people to lean on. So maybe you might discover that you have a deepening relationship with those who are around you, those that love you. So,
Lovely.
mhm. We have Hugo, and he's from the Northern Hemisphere.
Okay, Hugo. Breathe on the cards for me, Hugo. Okay, what does Hugo need to know right now? Creating altars, Hugo. May you be reminded of the altar within you, where the truth of your magic holds all that you seek. We have a picture here of an altar with a grimoire. So a grimoire is your witch's spell book, for those of you who don't know the name. And all of these little precious things on there. As I hold it up, I don't know if there's anything jumping out at you, but I would say watch what you're putting into yourself, okay? Your body is your temple, is your altar. But also, if you are someone who has a little altar around the place, make sure you give it a little spring clean, a little tidy. Throw off all those dead pieces of pine cone or whatever you collected now. The energy's gone from them now. Make yourself a spring altar. I'm just going to turn this round to see if anything's jumping out at me. So lighting candles, reading cards, making smells. We have pomegranate there as well. We've also got buds on there, and we've got various flowers. So why don't you dress your outside altar, which is in your house or in your garden, but really pay attention to what you are putting inside of yourself. And I don't just mean food or drink. I mean the television you watch. I mean the TikToks that you doom scroll through. You know, you don't need all of that information, and make sure you're not getting sucked down into negative conspiracy theory rabbit holes. I'm going to leave that there, okay, before I start going on about it. If you want to be a mathematician, Hugo, you need to hang around with mathematicians. If you want to stop drinking, you don't go and meet your friends in a bar. You know what I mean? Like for like. Really make sure you are watching what you ingest, what you hear, what you see, what you eat. And that will help you to feel better, and you will look after that inner altar, that inner temple. I'm going to leave that there.
Well, it goes along with the peace card, the inner peace, right? Isn't that so funny? The peace card. Obviously, the turtle, it's a sacred animal, and it always looks like it's at peace, right? It's slow moving, slow going. It's again a very wise, long living animal. And I absolutely love it. There's also flowers there with bloom and at peace. But it's an inner peace and encourages peace and friendships with others. It's a it says right here, I'm going to read this because I love the sea turtles. It's actually a natural gardener. They garden the seas by eating it alongside the aquatic life, and they use these spaces to rest and hide. It encourages a peaceful environment that allows you to flourish. And so this may be also speaking to inner and outer peace, just very much like what Sarah was saying, like your life, your environment, spring cleaning. This is a new
And
bloom.
that turtle carries its home, doesn't it? So it definitely needs a spring clean every now and then.
That's so insightful. That's so intuitive. I love that so much. So yes, that just is I think this is an affirmation card to just inner peace and whatever it takes to get that, you know, let's focus on that right now.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cara.
You're welcome, dear. All right, I think we have time for maybe one more.
Well, I could
Mhm.
probably go for another 20 minutes and then I have to be offline. So we could probably do a couple more.
Perfect. That's awesome. Good, good.
Okay.
I respect it then. So let's see. Lyric lives in the northern hemisphere. Lyric like a song lyric.
Okay. Okay. Lyric. Grow. I said grow on the cards. I mean blow on the cards. But we are in the growing season in the north,
We
aren't we?
are,
So,
especially in the northern hemisphere.
yes. Okay. Right. What does Lyric need to know right now? Wreath making.
Ooh.
Adorn your world with spells infused with purpose and craft the life that you desire. And we have these three maidens, you know, plaiting, wreathing things together. So you probably already know this, but people used to weave, you know, messages and wishes into their hair or into pieces of ribbon or making wreaths. So I would suggest to you, why don't you just let things grow a little bit longer first? But maybe that would be a nice thing for you to do, either pick some wildflowers and make a braid with them. Yes, Americans call it braiding rather than plaiting. Or you could braid someone else's hair and put lovely wishes into it as you're braiding their hair, or you can do your own hair if it is long enough. But other than that, I would say to you, just get some pieces of thread, you know, and just get a little stick, tie them all to the stick so that you've got something, and then start weaving. And as you're braiding, weaving your wishes into that braid, and then keep it on your altar. And then perhaps around Beltane or just after Beltane, you can throw it into a fire or go and poke it or hang it on a tree. The Cluties, who was it who was hanging wishes on trees earlier? You could hang the wish on a tree. I've lost the card now, but someone had tree wishes on trees. That's another thing you can do with these braids. I've put the card away, I can't find it. So braiding your wishes into wreaths, and that would be a circular wreath, but it would be just fine to make a nice straight one. So doing a bit of spell work, always ground and protect before you do your spell work. You can also create a sphere around you. So east, south, west and north, and then grandfather sky and grandmother earth, and then sit and do your braiding and make your wishes. It's another form of spell crafting, with all these hairs leaping to their wishes, leaping to the sky and the stars, reaching for those stars. I'm going to leave that with you there.
I love it. Well, it kind of goes along with the work. It's the bee. Yes. Yes. So the work card. So if you see there's three little honeycombs. Ooh, I love it. Oh, if no one has ever done or seen Sarah's honey flame work,
I will do some honey flame when it gets a bit warmer.
I'm like, can you do your honey flame? Every time we talk, she's like, oh, I'll get to it. I was like, okay, cool. But the bees, they are, it's a blessing for work is what this card is. Anytime I ever pull it, or anytime I ever see a bee that lands on me, it's always a blessing with work. Like very much it says, in any study I've done, it's like, again, as Sarah said, it's akin to the ants because they work together as a colony. And that's how they get a blessing of their work as well. So you've got flowers which are in bloom, which again is a prediction or a present tense of the blessing of your work, like it's going like to the fruition of your work. And there's had a point and it just left me. Um,
You can also tell your problems to the bees. That is old folk
that
work
was
in England.
that's what it was. Yes, I was like, there's something about messengers. They're messengers as well.
So
So
when somebody would die in the family, the beekeeper would go down to the hive and he'd just sit there and he'd tell his problems to the bees. It's called telling the bees. And it was
Hmm.
thought that if they did not hear about the important family news, that the colony would die off or disperse. So that's why we
Hmm.
did it.
No, I love it. Yeah, very much so. So communication. There's also this little sun, but it really is just a blessing of your work. It's a like a rich, successful outcome for you and what you're doing, but just to kind of keep on keeping on and doing the work that like that braiding, that plaiting, as they would say. And just to know that soon you'll see the labors of your work come to fruition.
I'm going to add something to that because those hexagons are calling me. Make sure that you don't leave any gaps, that you do not waste anything, because those forms of hexagons actually don't leave any space in between them. Whereas if it was circles, there'd be gaps in between them all.
Oh,
So make sure you don't waste anything. If you're cutting things away from your work, make sure that you really do want to get rid of it before you do.
oh, I love that very much. Yeah, love it. I got another good spring card.
And they
Um,
are out at the moment. They need 14 centigrade. I think that's what we are. Are we Fahrenheit or centigrade in the UK? 14 degrees in the UK, and they start flying.
so the last one, unless you can do one more, is Aaron, and he is from Ontario, Canada. And we
So
have
that's
a reading.
Northern Hemisphere, because I do know my geography. Sorry, can you repeat his name again? Aaron, did you say?
Aaron, Eirin.
Hello, Aaron. Nice to meet you. Blow on the cards for me. And what does Aaron need to know now? You got to do your spring clean, Aaron. It says spring cleaning. Okay, it is a time to clear from the path all that does not serve you. Pretty much what it says on the tin, really, isn't it? Clearing out waste, what you don't want anymore, so that you can make space for all of these beautiful new things that are going to be brought towards you this spring and summer. So have a clear of that wardrobe. Anything you haven't worn for 2 years, go and give it to charity. Perhaps have a yard sale. Remember, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So if it is not working for you anymore, why don't you have that yard sale? Give the money to charity or something. Or if you're in need of those pennies yourself, keep it and put it to a good cause. But again, it is more cleansing and clearing, cleansing and clearing, cleansing and clearing. And that's ideas as well, and patterns, perhaps habits. So I'm going to leave that there because it pretty much is what it says, isn't it? Don't need to explain that too much.
This card is, I love this card. It's the octopus card, and it's adaptation. And
Transformation, yeah.
yes, adaptation for the octopus is so well, so well delivered because octopus are masters at adaptation in many, many ways. So we all know that they can fit through the smallest of holes. Like I saw a fisherman had caught one, and there was just a little slit, like a sliver on the very edge of his boat. And
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, he's where's he going?" And he slid
yeah.
over the opposite, and he just literally like smooshed himself through there and just dropped right into the sea. It was free.
I used to play with them when I was a kid out in Bermuda. There was a
That's
whole
right.
there was a whole family that lived in the ferry wharf, and we used to go into the water, and they would sort of wrap their arms all around our arms and crawl over our backs. If we got too close, they'd squirt ink out. And they have these little eyes that look ever so scared all the time, but they're lovely
Oh,
things.
I love that. They also can mimic what's around them.
Oh, I did. Oh, what the color with their color schemes? Yes.
Yes, for sure. So you, of course, you've seen those videos of another adaptation is like if there's a predator around, or if they just feel scared, they will adapt to what is around them to become camouflaged, so that threat kind of moves away. So whether you're in a situation where you kind of need to get out, or if you need to maybe even shapeshift a little bit to like kind of get through
Yes.
something. That's also something that the octopus is very, very good at, but they're exceptionally intelligent as well. So the adaptation, some people will put, again, you've seen this, something in a jar, like a crab in a
Yeah, they'll
jar.
open it, won't they?
They will open it. And so they're highly intelligent, highly adaptable. And so this is a card of just realizing and accepting that you are a master of adaptation. So, whatever situation you're in, it doesn't necessarily have to be a threat. It could be something where you are adapting to um, the fulfillment of manifestation in your life. Like you hit your abundance and you're like, oh, I have to like what happens now because as we get more abundance, as we get more in our lives, we kind of have to adapt to that to get to change our frequency to accept more and to know what to do with it to live that life we love. So this adaptation card, so whatever it is that you are doing, what card did they get from you again, Sarah? What was it?
The spring cleaning,
Okay, yeah. So again,
so that you
adaptation
can
for
get rid of
worship.
the old to make way for the new. They also, octopus will also team up with fish from other species. I saw a clip, I think it's a David Attenborough clip of a big grouper with a big mouth, and they work as a team hunting for food together. So the grouper would sort of, look into the holes or something, and then the octopus will go in, or the octopus will throw something in and distract it, and it will come out, and then the grouper will, and they'll share the food that they get. So
Oh
team
wow.
up with perhaps look for partnerships in unexpected places, perhaps.
I love that. Another good adaptation. Love it, love it.
Right. I think we'll have to call it a day now. Let's just do a very quick closing down visualization for the equinox. I'm going to do this. It's whatever hemisphere you are in. I'm going to explain this a little bit. We're all going to imagine we are standing in a circle, holding hands. Just take a couple of breaths in and just imagine you're on a beautiful hill somewhere, a nice grassy hill. And there's a huge circle. Everybody who is watching this video, even though it's going to be different times, we're all coming to stand in this circle. We hold hands with whoever is next to us. We are all comrades, all little ants and little bees, working for the collective, wanting things to get better. And I want you just to take 3 breaths in. And I'm going to explain this before we do it. So those of you who are about to step into spring, we're 3 days past stepping into spring, so we're still in the energies. Those moving into summer, when I say, is going to step forward into the circle. Those in the southern hemisphere stepping into winter is going to step back from the circle. So we'll have 2 circles. So I want you just to let go of the hands of the people next to you, and I just want you to step forwards into summer or step backwards into winter. Take that step now. And then I want you to separate your legs a little bit. You're going to stand like the Vitruvian man, like the star. And you are going to balance with earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Take 3 breaths in and out again. And I'm going to draw some abundance symbols onto you as you're doing that. Mara, Chokore, and Daikumio for harmony. And I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to try and be the best person I can be, being kind and considerate and understanding. And then take another breath in and breathe all the way down to your feet, knowing that you have stepped into your season. You have balanced with it. And I'm going to place my hands on your feet. We're going to ground this beautiful session of readings in, and I want to take this time now to thank Cara so much for coming to join me.
You're welcome.
Thank you to everyone who has turned up on the live, and thank you to everyone who is going to watch it in the future. I'm just going to draw the yew tree symbol, which is a distant healing Reiki symbol. It's also good for people with needing cancer therapies. But this symbol, the Iho, 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 will hold the energy in the future or way back into the past. Now take a couple of breaths in and settle your breathing down into its natural rhythms. Cara, would you like to tell everybody the name of your YouTube channel and where they can get hold of you? And I will put it in the show notes. It'll be about an hour and a half because I've got a Reiki appointment now, but I'll put all the details in the show notes. But Cara, take it away.
Thank you, Sarah, so much. Yes, you can get a hold of me. My handle on YouTube is Cara Marlene, KaraMarlene. I have a website if anyone wants like readings or one-on-one soul coaching. And if you would like to reach out to me, my email is info@caramarlene.com. Thank you, Sarah.
That is all right. So I still have a couple of notices. I have got Tarot Retreat. I've still got a couple of places left in Ibiza in June. So please email me if you would like to join that. My email is in the show notes of every single video. It is also in, I think, what is it called? It is in the sort of bio on my channel. You can find Cara over on TikTok and on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I have got a TikTok channel, but it's for fun and frolics and doom scrolling now. So I'm not, there is all the old ASMR stuff, but I'm not active really on there anymore. And we wish you blessings of Ostara and the blessings of Mabon. And have a great couple of weeks. We will be back. We're trying to coincide with the festivals and the new moons and full moons. So, but we don't always get the day. We can't always do it on the day, but we'll try and see you in a week or two at least. Okay.
Yes, it would. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you as always, Sarah.
Thank you, Cara. Well, we say goodbye to you all and have a great week ahead of you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Cara. Bye, everybody. Thank you.